Here is a quick update on the voting for the class of 2026 in YouTube's Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. The poll has been up about a month, and we have seen world-class fans come out in force through the early going. If you are new here and aren't familiar with the fan-voted Hall of Fame we have, stick around until the end, and I'll give you a quick run-through on everything. Just to make it clear, these are not the final results. The poll is still open. This is just an update on how things are going so far. Right now, as I make this, Kevin and David Von Erich are leading in the poll. Kevin is the oldest of the brothers who wrestled primarily in the 1970s and 1980s, and is the only one still living. Kevin has been much more visible in recent years with the release of the movie The Iron Claw, as well as various podcasts that have been out there and public appearances. Of course, his sons Ross and Marshall are still active in pro wrestling as well. David is the center of one of the great what-ifs in pro wrestling history. David was only 25 years old when he suddenly died while on tour in Japan in February 1984. This was at a time David was set to become the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. As most people will say today, among the Von Erich brothers, David was the one with the sharpest mind for the business and was highly thought of within the National Wrestling Alliance. And of course, Kevin and David's father, Fritz, was inducted last year. Many people might be surprised Kerry is not right there with them, and I'm a little surprised by that as well. But brother Kerry is not far behind. Kerry is in a three-way tie for third place. He was the youngest of the three among himself, Kevin, and David, but is widely regarded as the most popular. A lot of that has to do with his WWF run later in his career. Kerry is tied with a family friend with strong ties to world class, Bruiser Brody, who was something of a traveling act throughout his career. Brody actually held the American Tag Team Championship with Kerry on a couple of occasions. It's not all world class at the top, as tied with Kerry and Bruiser for third place is Bobby Heenan. Regarded by many as the greatest pro wrestling manager of all time, Heenan was also notable as a commentator and also did his fair share of wrestling in his career. In a four-way tie for sixth place are Mid-South owner Cowboy Bill Watts, who also had an illustrious career of his own, another world-class figure with Playboy Gary Hart, legendary commentator and announcer Jim Ross, who is still working today in AEW, and the legendary Mildred Burke, who would be the first woman elected to this Hall of Fame. This year, the top 10 vote recipients will be inducted with the class of 2026, and that puts things in an unusual position this early on. Right now, there is a 14-way tie for 10th place in the poll. If the poll were to end today, that would be 23 people going in with this class. Of course, there is still a long way to go, but it tells you how much can change with just one vote. The list of 14 involved in that tie right now includes Adrian Street, Dennis Condrey, Eddie Guerrero, Genichiro Tenryu, Gino Hernandez, James J. Dillon, Owen Hart, Ron Simmons, Ronnie Garvin, Sam Muchnick, Stu Hart, Terry Gordy, and Wahoo McDaniel. If you didn't hear a name you were hoping to hear in all of that, it doesn't mean much at this early stage. I just gave a list of 23 people. There are 300 names in the poll, and a lot more of them have votes. In fact, there are 24 people, just one vote out of that tie for 10th place. So this can still go a lot of different ways in a short period of time. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel and to the poll, there is a link in the description, and there will also be a link to the video introducing the class of 2026 poll on the end screen. We began YouTube's Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame last year. Fans decide who is inducted and when they go in. Plus, I do have the Creators Award, where I choose one person to induct. I'll tell you, those are usually going to be the more obscure names. This year, there is a single poll with 300 names. I tried to give a good mixture of wrestling personalities from over the years, stretching from the early days of pro wrestling to more modern stars. You can vote for as many people in the poll as you like. Just keep in mind that the more people you vote for, the less your vote might mean. If you voted for all 300, that would be the equivalent of voting for nobody. The poll will be open until July 29th. After that, I will put up an announcement video, or induction video, if you will. We also don't bother with tiebreakers or runoffs. So, for example, a 14-way tie for 10th place means all 14 will be inducted. If you want to check out the class of 2025, I'll leave that on the end screen as well. I'll come back at the end of May with another update to let everybody know how things are going. Thanks for watching. There is new world-class bios coming for those that are interested. And then I will start on a new title lineage video. If you haven't already, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Not necessarily in that order. And I will see you next time.